Today we want to focus again on powers of Congress. First, I want to talk to you about three things that Congress specifically cannot do. Congress cannot suspend the writ of habeas corpus, and the writ of habeas corpus is something that we've talked about before. This phrase, habeas corpus, is Latin, and it means to have body or to bring the body. And to suspend the writ of habeas corpus means that Congress could pass a law saying that you could be arrested for a crime and then thrown in jail and just left there without ever being given a trial. So it's obviously a good thing that Congress cannot suspend the writ of habeas corpus. And in class, remind me, and I will talk about how President Lincoln actually did suspend the writ of habeas corpus during the Civil War. Moving on, Congress cannot pass bills of attainder. And a bill of attainder is a law that would basically find you guilty and then punish you without giving you a trial. So habeas corpus and bills of attainder are linked, but they are a little different. Next, we have passing ex post facto laws. And an ex post facto law is a law that would make an act a crime after it was committed. I'll give you an example. Let's say that for my birthday, I decided that it was a great idea for me to walk down the street of Park Hills during my planning period doing cartwheels. And the day after my birthday, the city of Park Hills decides that it is illegal for an employee of our school district to do that. So they come to my classroom and they decide to arrest me, and I'm fined $5,000. Now, they can't do that because when I committed the act, when I did cartwheels down Main Street, it was not a crime. Now, if I did the same thing on 2 days after my birthday, then they could punish me for that act because it would have been a crime when I committed it. I can explain that in class if you need it. Now let's move on to the taxing and spending powers of Congress. Congress has what's called the power of the purse, and that means that they have the power to control the purse strings, or money. Congress has the authority to create revenue bills, and a revenue bill is a bill that generates money. Revenue, income, those are all ways to say like raising money. And revenue bills, and here's something I want you to file in the back of your brain. Revenue bills always must start in the House of Representatives. Moving on then to appropriations bills. Congress has the authority to create new federal programs. And when they create a new federal program, they have to appropriate money for that program. So let's say that they want to create a federal program which would grant Mrs. Petty unlimited coffee during the day. They would have to pass an appropriations bill then outlining how much money would be spent on my coffee addiction, which we can agree would be a lot. Moving on then to the national debt. The national debt is also the responsibility of Congress. And if you have looked at our national debt recently, it's a biggie. This is usdebtclock.org, and this is something that we'll also look at in class. usdebtclock.org gives you a running total of the national debt in the United States. And it's a little bit depressing because if you look at our U.S. national debt right now, we are right at $18.9 trillion, and that is definitely rising. We also have the U.S. national debt broken down by debt per citizen. So if you would take all the citizens in the United States and divide our national debt by that number, each citizen would be responsible for $58,000 of the national debt, which is scary. We also have debt per taxpayer. Debt per taxpayer is like if you would break down our national debt by the number of U.S. taxpayers. So we're talking about like adults 18 or over typically. One startling number that I saw when I was researching this, the student loan debt. A lot of you are going to college. A lot of you will have to take out student loans of some sort. Right now, the student loan debt in the United States, which includes federal student loans, private student loans, and parent loans, is over $1 trillion. It's crazy. Anyway, back to this. All right, so now we're going to scoot on eventually. We're going to scoot on to some more powers that Congress does have. Congress has powers to define bankruptcy proceedings in the United States. Congress has set different types of bankruptcies, like different chapters of bankruptcies that people can file, that businesses can file. But typically, Congress will leave bankruptcy proceedings and specific bankruptcy laws up to the states, just something that they do. Next, Congress has the authority to regulate interstate commerce and foreign commerce. Interstate commerce is, like we've talked about in class, commerce that occurs between the states. So anytime that money is crossing state lines, money or goods or services, that's an example of interstate commerce. Congress also has the authority to regulate foreign commerce, and this would refer to commerce or money that is being spent or borrowed with foreign countries. Next, we have the Civil Rights Act of 1964, and this is a very, very important law because this is the law that prohibited discrimination in public places in the United States based on race, religion, gender, ethnicity, and that ties in really well with the Heart of Atlanta Motel case. So reference your notes from this case and to find information about that. If you have any questions, let me know.